it's me. Glad to have you joining me. How does the mic sound? I got a new microphone. Where is it? Where is it, everybody? It's right here. It's right here. I got it a little bit close to me because I want to make sure it sounds good. Let me see if I can move it back here. How does that sound? Does that sound okay? That way you can't see the mic at all. All right. Hello, Helena. How are you? Hello, Phil. Hello, Jesse. And Felix and Tanya and all you guys. Are you ready to have some fun? Are you ready to have some fun tonight? Are you ready to have some fun? All right, cool. Because I'm ready to have some fun. Just hanging out here in the home studio and got another episode of Newsmax Television, Rob Carson's What in the World tomorrow, which will run actually tomorrow and Sunday, which is cool. Does the mic sound okay? I want to make sure the mic sounds okay. It sounds pretty good. Not too bad. Not too bad. Anyway, welcome to the show. Much to get to today. Everything, all sorts of coronavirus madness. Anthony Fauci testified on Capitol Hill today, and I don't trust the little bastard. I got to be honest. I don't trust him. I don't trust Dr. Birx either. I think we're being fed a line of shit. I think the country, and listen, I don't want to get coronavirus. Okay, nobody wants to get coronavirus. But at the same time, we should have just really focusing on the vulnerable. We know that Herman Cain died of coronavirus. He had stage 4 colon cancer. And Tony says, okay. Is that an okay? All right, cool. So he was a 74-year-old man, and he was not feeling good before the rally when he went down to see President Trump in Oklahoma. And, of course, CNN said that he must have caught it at the Trump rally, which is political bullshit, to be quite honest. It's just political bullshit. And rather than focusing on, and this is the kind of treatment you get, you've got a man who is a proud American, a man who was a political leader, ran for office, successful businessman, despite all of the institutional racism in America. Herman Cain was able to do it, and he did not have a successful bid for president, but pretty amazing story. He dies. He's treated with absolutely no respect. John Lewis, who was a pioneer with regard to the civil rights movement in the 1960s, he marched across the bridge in Selma and all that stuff, but later in life became a complete tool. And he was, of course, perfect. Everything was perfect. They went to the funeral. Barack Obama politicized it. We're going to get into that very shortly on the show. And John Lewis, thank you, John Lewis, for what you did early in life. But, there are a lot of people who do a lot of great things early in life and then become complete political tools. And sorry, John Lewis became a complete political tool. And a lot of people were saying, why didn't Donald Trump go to the president? Well, it's because John Lewis never recognized the official presidency of Donald Trump. He never recognized him as the president, and he was very insulting to the president. So what do you expect? God bless both of them. May they rest in peace. Okay. So we're going to start with a little bit of Fauci today on Capitol Hill. Here is Fauci talking. I'll just start with this. Fauci saying the president, despite what Democrats are saying, has done a pretty good job with coronavirus.
Dr. Fauci, let me ask you about some of the decisions that you worked with President Trump on, and the whole team did. I know when you go back to the beginning of this, the China ban was very heavily discussed. Were you involved in working with President Trump on deciding to ban flights from China?
Yes, sir, I was.
Now, of course, all the Democrats said that was very xenophobic to ban flights from China, even though China is evil. All right. Here's what China's famous for. China is famous for enslaving its people to build products after they steal our intellectual property, silencing dissent, crushing thousands of people in Tiananmen Square, washing their bodies down into the sewers, killing 60 million of its own people during the Cultural Revolution, destroying, going after the Uyghurs, killing organized religion. I could go on and on. China's evil.
Do you agree with that decision?
I do.
Do you think that
Dianne Feinstein says that they're really becoming a great nation?
decision saved lives, Dr. Fauci?
Yes, I do.
Do you agree with the decision when ultimately we saw spread in Europe?
I worry about a man who can't throw a ball 30 feet.
And then the president recommended that we extend that to Europe. Did you participate in that discussion?
I was actively involved in that discussion, sir.
Do you agree with that decision?
Yes, I do.
Do you think that decision saved lives?
Yes, I do.
Eventually, then we saw the United Kingdom have an outbreak, and there had to be a tough decision made. Do we extend that to the United Kingdom? Were you part of that decision?
I was.
And do you agree with that decision as well?
I do.
Did that decision save lives?
Yes, it did.
When you look at the 15 days to slow the spread, initially it started at 15. Were you part of the decision to implement that decision?
I was very much involved in that.
Did that decision save lives, Dr.
I
Fauci?
believe it did.
Wait a minute, wait. Yeah, I thought that Donald Trump caused the deaths of hundreds of thousands of people and destroyed the country and all of this stuff. No, he did a good job. He was way ahead of Joe Biden. He was way ahead of Democrats. He was the first person who said, we've got to stop flights in from China. And everybody went bat crap crazy that he was some sort of a racist because of it. He was just looking out for the country. And it makes sense. Doesn't it make sense if the virus comes from China that you would stop? And we've learned a lot. We've had to learn a lot through this, haven't we? We've had to learn a lot through this. And we've also had to suffer through a lot of crap, like having to wear stupid masks. And sports seasons have ended. College careers have ended. Kids have not been able to graduate from high school or college. They've not been able to. People have not been able to attend funerals unless, of course, you're John Lewis, and then everybody's fine. There are thousands of people who've died, and families couldn't go see them. People who died in hospitals alone because people couldn't go see them. Concerts canceled, lives ruined, tens of thousands of businesses destroyed, an economy destroyed. Dear God in heaven. And it's nonsense. And it has been from the beginning. The air is fine. Take your helmet off. Here is, and there's been a lot of consternation, and people said, like I said, de Blasio the other day, he was perfectly fine with protests. Protests where hundreds of thousands of people are crammed in. As long as you're saying Black Lives Matter and F the police, you're perfectly fine. But if you want to go to church, or if you want to attend an anti-mask rally or an anti-shutdown rally, that's bad. Here is, this is Dr. Fauci, Jim Jordan asking about why is it okay to go to a BLM protest and not be able to go to church?
Chairman, Dr. Fauci, do protests increase the spread of the virus?
I don't like the fact that he is coy here, because he knows exactly what the congressman is getting at here. You don't need to be coy about it. You just say, yes, protests spread the virus if you believe that mass gatherings spread the virus.
Increase the spread of the virus. I think I can make a general statement.
Well, 500,000 protesters on June 6th alone.
Yeah.
I'm just asking, that number of
No.
people, does
Yeah.
it increase the spread of the virus?
Crowding together, particularly when you're not wearing a mask, contributes to the spread of the virus.
Should we limit the protesting?
I'm
Wow, look at all the love I'm getting on Facebook. Thank you, guys.
not sure what you mean. How do we say limit the protesting?
Should government limit the protesting?
I don't think that's relevant to.
Well,
He's being coy. You either can't gather in mass or you can. You can go to church or you can't. All right? If you say that people can't go to church or eat in a freaking restaurant, then they can't go to a mass protest. If they can't go to the beach, they can't go to a mass protest. If they can't have a barbecue in their backyard, then they can't go to the frickin' protest.
you just said if it increases the spread of the virus. I'm just asking, should we limit it?
Well, I'm not in a position to determine what the government can do in a forceful way.
Well, you make all kinds of recommendations. You make comments on dating, on baseball, on everything you can imagine. I'm just asking you just said that protests increase the spread. I'm just asking you, should we try to limit the protests?
No, I think I would leave that to people who have more of a position to do that. I can tell you.
Government stopping people from going to church, Dr. Fauci?
Yeah.
Last week in the Calvary Chapel case, 5 liberals on the Supreme Court said it was okay for Nevada to limit church services. Justice Gorsuch said it best. He said there's no world in which the Constitution permits Nevada to favor Caesar's Palace over Calvary Chapel. I'm just asking, is there a world where the Constitution says you can...
None of this has made sense. All right? None of this has made sense. Nobody has ever said one single case came because you sat at the same table with somebody at a restaurant or you sat within 6 feet of someone. I want you to think about how stupid this is. Today I was at work. I literally moved within 4 feet of a guy, and he avoided me. And I wanted to say, you idiot, if I'm 6 feet away versus 5 feet away, it makes no effing difference. If I'm 7 feet away from you, you can still get the virus. If I'm 10 feet away from you, All right. If you are in a building, then technically you have to believe that the air is like a soup of bacteria. All right. Or you could just say, this is bull crap. I lean towards the bull crap, by the way, the bull crap.
Favor one First Amendment liberty, protesting, over another, practicing your faith.
I'm not favoring anybody over anybody. I'm just making a statement that's a broad statement that avoid crowd.
He's been wrong about everything. He's been wrong about everything. And now he is saying, listen to this. He's saying that you might even consider wearing some sort of goggles, some sort of face covering. Are they doing that in Europe? Are they doing that in the other parts of the world? The only reason that any of this is happening, okay, this pandemic has the death rate of flu. We get flu every year. 61 million people got the swine flu in 2010 in this country. I had it. I ended up getting pneumonia because of it. It was ugly, right? I've been going to work every day meeting hundreds of people for the last 6 months, all right? Do I want to get coronavirus? Hell no. Do I wash my hands? Hell yes. Do I wear a mask? Yes, of course, because I have to. But honestly, I'm just... This is nonsense. It's been nonsense from the get-go, and the only reason it's happening, the only reason this is happening, the only reason that there are all of these uprisings in America because of the death of someone you don't even remember his name in Minneapolis. Do you? Do you, Democrats? Do you remember who the black man who died in Minneapolis? Do you remember his name? And suddenly, think about this. And by the way, George Floyd, that's his name. He did not have to die, okay? We understand. Was it racist? I don't know. Did you talk to the police officer? Was it racism in his heart, or was he just a dick? But because of this, Eskimo pies had to change their name. Aunt Jemima had to go away. Confederate statues and statues of Abraham Lincoln and Thomas Jefferson had to be torn down. And Christopher Columbus had to be torn down. And people had to start talking about Marxism and overthrowing the government. You think this is about George Floyd? It never has been. All it was a trigger for George Soros and Occupy to come back and try to take over the country. And if you think this is just about Black lives, you are high. What's going on in Portland is an attempt to overthrow the government. People are being injured. Officers are being injured. The reason why they're going after a federal courthouse is because it represents the federal government. It represents the United States of America. It represents our representative republic. It is an attempt to throw it over. That's it. It is a seditious movement that needs to be put down with force. Today, the President of the United States said, if we can't do it with our federal troops that are in there, we will send in the National Guard, and he should, and I back it. This is bullshit. This is all about overthrowing our government, attempting to turn it over to communists and socialists. And I know you're going to say, oh, that's all paranoid and all. It's never happened to this degree. It has never happened with this level of force in this country. That's why people are being injured. That's why fireworks are being used. That's why incendiary devices are being used. That's why people are beginning to arm themselves when they come to these protests to injure and attempt to overtake a federal building. This is a movement, okay? It is not a peaceful demonstration, as Barack Obama said at the funeral of, drawing a blank on his name, civil rights activist, drawing a blank. That's what this is. And it needs to be put down with whatever force is necessary, okay? This is not Kent State. This is a lot worse than Kent State ever could have dreamed of being. Here is a little PSA the president put together about coronavirus and how he's been a very effective leader with regard to it.
On January 30th, the World Health Organization declared the Chinese coronavirus a global health emergency. President Trump acted immediately, announcing new travel restrictions on China.
Starting at 5 p.m. Eastern on Sunday, the U.S. will temporarily ban foreign nationals who pose a risk of transmitting the coronavirus from entering the country.
Democrats and the media attacked President Trump for these restrictions, but President Trump was right.
Every expert agrees now, looking back, that the president's call to
I know you hate to say this, but he's been right about just about everything.
restrict that travel from China pretty early on was a good decision.
But Joe Biden, he got it wrong. The very same day the China travel restrictions were announced, Biden attacked President Trump for acting irrationally.
This is no time for Donald Trump.
Oh, I got some good stuff from Biden. He is so far gone mentally, you have no idea.
Record of hysterical xenophobia,
Thought it was xenophobia.
And fear-mongering to lead the way instead of science.
This guy, he actually literally, all of his food has to be blended and fed to him in a straw.
Days before, Joe Biden's top coronavirus advisor, Ron Klain, got it wrong too.
I think wherever he walks in the house, he has to wear a bike helmet.
Ban Chinese travelers from arriving in the United States? I wouldn't. I think that's premature.
Biden tweeted the same attack about xenophobia again. And
I thought it was xenophobia. Is it xenophobia or a xenophobia? What?
Again and again. As late as March 26, the Biden campaign still refused to support President Trump's action. Biden's staff would only say travel restrictions could be warranted. Finally, 2 months after President Trump's...
Now, I ask you this. If Joe Biden were the president, do you suppose that things would have been better with regard to the coronavirus in March? And now...
decision. Biden's staff claimed he supported them all along. They want to rewrite history. But no amount of spin can cover up the fact that Joe Biden got it wrong and President Trump got it right when American lives were at stake.
Joe Biden has been wrong about everything. Honestly, in his entire career, he's been in Washington, D.C. over 40 years. He and Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer, they've been there for collectively hundreds of years. And if you look at the state of the country, they haven't done anything. Barack Obama with regard to race. And by the way, Barack Obama, he lit this fuse, okay? Everything you're seeing this year, and I said this when Barack Obama left office, I said that he is leaving the office of the presidency like a movie villain with a cigarette lit in his mouth and a trail of gasoline behind him, and he flicks the cigarette calmly and coolly into the line of gasoline, and the country explodes him as he chuckles and walks away. That's what you're seeing. You think this is by accident? This started with Occupy. This started with people attacking people while they were in line waiting for a Trump rally. This happened with Inauguration Day and dumpsters burning and police cars burning in Washington, D.C. Do you not effing see this? Do you not see this plan? It is not about George Floyd. It has never been about George Floyd. It has never been about Mike Brown in St. Louis, in Ferguson. Mike Brown today, the officer involved in that shooting. There were no charges filed for him. He was exonerated because Mike Brown was a big fat thug who went in and strong-armed a convenience store, tried to steal Darren Wilson's weapon, then charged him with it. There was no hands up, don't shoot. It never existed, and BLM, a Marxist organization, was formed because of it. Tell me one thing that Black Lives Matter has done for Black lives since it started and raised billions of dollars for itself. Give me one damned thing. Hello, Glenn. Man, I'm getting a lot of emojis tonight. People are liking when I get a little fiery. You know why? Because I'm just tired of the BS. Okay? Tired of the BS. Here is Barack Obama at John Lewis's funeral, and they didn't quite make it the Wellstone Memorial or Martin Luther King's wife's funeral. Those were both ungodly political. But Barack Obama decided to compare the president to Democrats in the South that would keep people from, black people from voting, black people from marching, black kids from going to school, all of these things, and comparing him to George Wallace, which is nonsense. What did Barack Obama do for black people when he was in office? What the hell did he do? Name one piece of legislation. Donald Trump brought the African-American unemployment rate to the lowest point in history. He did prison reform, letting out thousands of African-Americans who were being overpunished. What did Barack Obama do in office for black people? What did he do for Chicago? Did he ever say anything about Chicago? Did he ever say, when he left Chicago and he flicked the match into a stream of gasoline in Chicago as well, when he went to Washington, D.C., and he did nothing for Chicago? Here is Barack Obama at John Lewis's funeral saying some unbelievably... I guess the only thing you could say is, I don't know, evil, not ignorant. He knows exactly what he's saying. Sociopathic. We know what's happening in Portland. We know what has happened in Seattle. We saw Chaz and Chop. We've seen the $500 million worth of damage done to Minneapolis. We've seen the thousands of people injured, the dozens of people killed by this Antifa BLM movement. And this a-hole goes to John Lewis's funeral and says this.
Where we are judged by the content of our character. He knew from his own life.
Everything you've done is because of the color of your skin, sir. Nothing has been about the content of anyone's character. He has never, ever, ever regarded the content of someone's character above race.
The progress is fragile, that we have to be vigilant against the darker currents of this country's history, of our own history.
Every country in the world has its fault. We have worked very hard to become a more perfect union. We have become the greatest instrument, the greatest engine of individual freedom and progress and wealth and innovation. If it weren't for America, there would be no rock and roll. We may not have airplanes in the sky. I could go on and on and on. We have died on foreign soil to free people who are being dominated by tyrants. When the hell else did that happen in human history?
With their whirlpools of violence and hatred and despair.
He's going to get all preachy and start talking like a preacher.
Fair. They can always rise again. Bull Connor may be gone.
Bull Connor may be gone. Normally he talks like a TV weatherman. It's like, hello, I'm Barack Obama. How are you? But when he gets in front of a lectern at a church, suddenly he's down with the struggle.
But today, we witness with our own eyes police officers kneeling on the necks of black Americans.
I don't remember the man's name, but I'm using him as a political prop.
George Wallace may be gone.
He said gone. Didn't say gone. Normally in a normal conversation, George Wallace may be gone. Now it's George Wallace may be gone.
But we can witness our federal government sending agents to use tear gas and batons against peaceful demonstrators.
And let's look at some of these peaceful demonstrators. Here is a story, actually. A conservative journalist stabbed by a Portland protester. Yeah, this guy was he's actually a black conservative. His name is Andrew Duncombe, 25 years old. This is a peaceful protest in Portland. And here he is being approached by a 43-year-old Antifa member, a black conservative, and being stabbed, okay? This is graphic. It's not horrific, but here is how it went down at this peaceful protest.
Someone's stalking us.
Hey, buddy, why are you following us?
Ow! Ow! That is an Antifa protester, a peaceful protester, as Barack Obama just said. Watch him calmly and coolly stab a black conservative journalist.
Hey, buddy, why are you following us?
Ow! Ow! Did you just stab him? Bro, he just stabbed him, dude. Bro, he just stabbed him. That dude just stabbed him. Bro.
Now, wait a minute. Barack Obama said this is peaceful.
Bro, he just stabbed him, dude. He just stabbed him, dude. The guy right there. Get him! Get him! He stabbed him!
This doesn't exist. It's a myth, according to Jerry Nadler. And the president, former president of the United States, Barack Obama, he is saying that this president has sent federal troops in to attack peaceful protesters. All right, now if you believe this is a peaceful protest, and the mayor of Portland and Democrats believe it is, I want you to see this story from local Seattle television, okay? If this is a peaceful protest, I want you to see the people of Seattle, or the people of Portland, I should say, business owners and citizens alike, are going, we're under siege here, and we're not being heard by the national media. If you think what Barack Obama just said, which is an outrageous lie, if you believe him, you are a fool. You are a political tool. You are an anarchist. Here is the report from KOIN TV.
Destruction to downtown businesses, now more than $24 million. And that's...
Wait. Barack Obama just said that all of these protests were peaceful, that by sending federal troops in to quell violence around the courthouse, that Donald Trump is George Wallace.
Not just physical damage. It's also more than $18 million in lost revenue. Shops and other companies being shut down for weeks. The list of businesses permanently closing keeps...
Trying to think of a conservative rally where millions of dollars in damage happened and injuries occurred. Oh, yeah, never.
Keeps growing. The head of the Portland Police Officers Union says his officers want buy-in from city leaders to help put a stop to the violence.
The support from City Council has not come to be able to allow us to act as swiftly and appropriately as we need to some of these riots, to be able to disband them.
Downtown looking like a war zone, block after looting and vandalizing. Store owners giving...
No. Barack Obama just said that these are peaceful protests.
No sign when they will be back open.
Well, who's doing this? It's got to be Trump supporters.
Hearing from our national retailers who have locations, not just here in Portland, but obviously in multiple cities, multiple places across the country, is that Portland is the last of the cities to be able to turn that corner towards reopening. And that's a troubling a sign.
The head of the Portland Business Alliance, a group of almost 2,000 businesses, says the biggest damage is from the loss of thousands of jobs. He agrees city leaders need to step up before it's too late.
We need to stop the behaviors that are continuing to prevent people.
Isn't that what the president is trying to do? But Barack Obama is saying that there are no behaviors like this. It's not happening.
People from getting to work, from making a living, and from caring for their family. That's what needs to end. I don't think that's a complicated message. I don't think it's a complicated tactic to be able to stop it.
No, you go in and you kick their asses. Okay, it's not complicated. And Donald Trump has said he's going to send the National Guard into Portland, and I hope he does. I really do. I want to see water cannons and rubber bullets. I want to see people thrown in jail for a very long time. They need to be, because this is a seditious movement. This is a seditious movement. It is a dangerous movement, and it must be crushed. Okay? Here is Attorney General Billy Williams in Washington, in Portland, I should say, talking to a reporter who's saying, what? Even despite the burning building and the damage behind, these are peaceful.
So if we're going back to how you were talking about, this is shadowing the overall message about Black Lives.
Now, I want you to watch this reporter, by the way, and I want you to, he should have said, would you like this to come to your neighborhood and your house? What's behind me? Would you say it's cool if this came to your house?
Matter, right? You feel like the late night demonstrations are taking away from the fight for racial justice.
These aren't late night demonstrations. This is criminal activity. There's
my God!
The difference.
Okay.
What you have failed in the media have failed to distinguish between, you seem unwilling to call people engaged in criminal conduct as criminals, as opposed to lawful protesting.
Well, some may argue that the way the federal agents are acting is criminal too.
You idiot, a-hole, douchebag, moron. The reason why the federal officers have been brought there was a reaction to the attempt to overthrow the courthouse. You moron. You really can't be this stupid.
We're not saying that.
Argue away on that.
But we're not saying either, so.
Well, so I'm just saying there needs to be a distinction made between lawful, constitutionally protected protest.
And he's explaining with reason what's going on here, and this person will have nothing to do with it.
And this is unlawful.
Okay, so.
And people, whether you're you're an opportunist, an antagonist, an agitator, or an anarchist. Call it out for what it is.
So you're saying the late night activity, that is criminal.
What I'm telling you is you seem to refuse to call something.
I love this guy. I love this guy. You little J-school fop. Look at what's behind me.
Late night activity, this is criminal.
I just said the late night activity that you say is criminal.
The late night activity you say is criminal.
Right?
What I'm saying is...
No, there's no he's saying it's criminal. It is effing criminal. Do you not see what's behind him?
Why can't you call it out as such?
Because I'm not...
You're
I don't have all the
using
police
late night activity. It sounds like a party.
Wow. Hello, Tina. How are you? And hello. Who else we got here, guys? Greatly appreciate you. Gary and Tamara and Parker. Parker, how you doing, buddy? I miss you, man. I hope you're doing well. And Lance and, of course, Helena and Ben and all you guys. And Victor, what's up, my brother? Victor, good to see you, man. And Kevin. My God, look at all the people who are watching tonight. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. By the way, up here, right here, you can order these designs and T-shirts and whatnot. Just go to tpublic.com, look for Conservatees. I'll put up the web link. Unfortunately, this company has censored some of the shirts that I wanted to put up. But anyway, you can go there, and I'll again put it up here. Hashtag done with the NFL, hashtag done with the NBA, hashtag done with MLB. There's the nah to the wearing a mask thing because you're not a sheep. You can order that as well. You can even have it put on a face mask. I'll start listening when you stop burning SH. That is there as well. Just go ahead and say shit. Anyway, all that's available right there. tpublic.com, Conservatees. If you would help me out and order something, that would be huge. Because me and my friend Sam Cangelosi, that is our line of products. I come up with them. He creates a design. Hello, Ben. Glad to have you. Okay. What do we want to do here? What do we want to do here? This is Nancy Pelosi. We're talking about federal troops being brought into Portland because a federal courthouse is under attack for a reason. Because it is a seed of government, a federal government, and it is an attempt to overthrow the government. Okay? This is not Kent State. Kent State was a bunch of idiot hippies who physically attacked the National Guard and they shot back. All right? You think that the Fort Ed in Ohio, I don't know much about it, but at the same time, the National Guard troops who were brought in, they were brought into a violent situation, being confronted in the very same way, and the media was being manipulated in the very same way. There was violent morons at Kent State. This was not some sort of a peaceful protest. It ended up 4 people dying in Ohio because National Guard troops, who are you and me, by the way, called up to serve, defended themselves from idiots like this, okay? Same thing going on. And the media is doing the same thing to try to protect the violent mob, the violent communist, anarcho-communist, socialist, Marxist morons. And by the way, those of you who support Black Lives Matter, it is a Marxist-based organization, and Karl Marx was a racist. He was a racist, which makes you doubly stupid if you support Black Lives Matter. You're super stupid. You're like most excellent stupid. Like if stupid could be a superpower, you are a superhero. Excellent. Okay. Anyway, here's Bill Barr on Nancy Pelosi calling our federal troops stormtroopers. Also, another was it Clyburn, Jim Clyburn, calling our federal troops the Gestapo, which is absolutely sickening. Here's Bill Barr when he was being grilled last week by rude Democrats with regard to what does it accomplish by calling federal troops sent into a violent situation, a building that is being attacked by anarcho-communists. What does it accomplish by calling them stormtroopers or Gestapo?
Madam Chair, welcome, Attorney General Barr. Wow. I'm beginning to believe, frankly, that you're probably that just hadn't come out yet, probably will in a little bit. You're probably the cause of the common cold and, and possibly even the COVID-19. I'm not sure at this point because everything's being thrown at you, including now, undoubtedly, your alma mater doesn't like you anymore.
My buddy Mike is watching. Hello, Mike. How you doing, buddy? Hope you're feeling well.
Where have we come? The chairman said something earlier today that really made me think. He said, why all the drama? That's the most ironic statement coming from this committee in the last 18 months that I've ever heard of, the drama that we're bringing up today. We're seeming to just contort ourselves to get to some way to show that you have nefarious motive. I believe, like some of our side here, I believe the biggest problem you have is telling the truth. I believe that's the problem that they have with you. You'll tell the truth and you'll take responsibility for your actions, and I think that's why you're being attacked. But I want to continue just on this, quote, peaceful protest for a second. You made a comment just a second ago on these rights. Talking about the courthouses just down the street, what if they decided, do you think that this body right here would rise up if they decided to go tonight and paint the Capitol building?
This body, I'm not sure.
I think this side would. I'm not sure. Yeah, this other side, I'm not so sure. It may be the peaceful protest to burn down the Capitol.
You laugh, but it's true.
Well, maybe we're back to 1812 again. But also, the other question I have is, and you've heard it earlier today, the stormtrooper comments by the Speaker of the House. And we know that that is a direct reference to the paramilitary wing of the Nazi Party. Stormtroopers going at it. Do you believe that that actually puts our law enforcement community at a whole? As a son of a state trooper, I want to know your opinion. Don't you think it encourages the violence that we're seeing and encourages the participation against the police?
I think that's possible, and I think it's irresponsible to call these federal law enforcement officers stormtroopers.
I think you're right. People forget that people who go into law enforcement, people who do this, they do it with a desire to serve. It's not about a salary, because they can make a shitload more money doing something else. It is a desire to serve. It is about law and order. And that the Democrat Party would lower itself to call federal officers called in, I don't think I need to say it again, a violent mob attempting to overthrow a federal courthouse and injure hundreds of officers, blind permanently, 2 of them. Barack Obama, you douche. To call them some sort of Gestapo or stormtrooper is evil. And I've said this before, the Democrat Party at this point is a force for evil. It's doing nothing good. Tell me what the Democrat Party is doing right now that is good. What is the Democrat Party doing right now that is good? Are they trying to make the country better? Do they want people to go back to work? Do they want your kids to go back to school? Do they want to protect children of the womb? What are they doing that is good? What is the Democrat Party doing that is good right now? They don't care. They want to see this virus as bad as it can be, because this is an election year. They want people to die. They want people to be out of work. They want suffering. They want suffering. They even vote against aid packages. The Democrat Party is a party for absolute evil right now, and they put your safety, the government, the country. They don't care if the country falls. They don't care if you tear down statues. They want to defund law enforcement. Tell me one thing that makes the Democrat Party right now good. There's nothing. There is nothing. They are an organization for evil, disruption, chaos, violence. Here's Nancy Pelosi denying the fact that she called federal law enforcement stormtroopers.
The stormtrooper comments by the Speaker of the House. And we know that that is a direct reference to the paramilitary wing of the Nazi Party. Don't you think it encourages the violence that we're seeing and encourages the participation against the police?
I think that's possible.
Look at this fake smile on her face. I mean, who does that? What sort of fake person does that?
I think it's irresponsible to call these federal law enforcement officers stormtroopers.
Well, actually,
the Attorney General,
they acted like... No.
Well, I'm just going to read it to you. I want everyone to...
Did somebody polish your face tonight? I'm just saying. Do you have a face polisher?
Hear what he said. He implied under oath that it is possible that this would be dangerous.
She's 80 years old. I'm thinking that hair is not her natural color.
To law enforcement, and he called your remarks irresponsible, and we give you the floor.
I think that mask is actually holding her chin off of her chest. It's so real. Look, she has no eyelids.
I never heard him say anything about Rudy Giuliani when he said they were like stormtroopers when they went into Michael Cohen. Was it his home or that? Or
Yeah, that was completely different, you see, because Michael Cohen was not wrecking cities.
or one of his other henchmen said that the law enforcement were like the Gestapo when they went into one of the president's henchmen's place. I said they acted like stormtroopers, and they did. And my colleagues have said that.
You know, they just acted like Nazis. They were really, I'm not comparing them to Nazis. I'm just saying basically that they're not, I mean, like Nazis. They're not really, I mean, you know, they probably, come on.
Well, I'm an organizer. That's how I came into all of this. Chair of the California Democratic Party. And peaceful protest is who we are and what we do.
I don't think I need to explain it further why it's not peaceful protest. I've already shown the video. Blah, 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 blah. Here is Nancy Pelosi comparing the AG to some sort of a blob and federal law enforcement to henchmen.
He should be answering for what he did at Lafayette Square, a disgrace. So this is, it's really...
By the way, Lafayette Square is the place near the White House. There were Antifa people who tried to destroy a historic church. The next day, the president said, we are going to reclaim this area. We are going to make it lawful, and we are going to clear out those who would cause the violence so the president can go over and reclaim it.
He was like a blob. He was like just a henchman for the president of the United States.
Now, I do believe that Nancy Pelosi has her own private army of henchmen. We actually had, this is some historical footage of Nancy Pelosi commanding her henchmen.
Take your army to the haunted forest and bring me that girl and her dog. Do what you like with the others, but I want her alive and unharmed.
Now, Nancy Pelosi over the years has had, Michael Jackson had a whitening thing for his skin. She had a degreening, apparently, a few years ago.
You no trouble, I promise you that. I've sent a little in.
She used to be really green a long time ago.
On ahead.
Not easy being green.
Take the fight out of them. Take special care of those ruby zippers. I want those most of all. Now fly! Fly!
Obviously, this was like 20 years ago, but yeah, there she is. She had her own force. Look at all the love I'm getting on this. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, let's talk about the vice president. This is pretty funny. Oh my God. So Joe Biden, honestly, and I'm just gonna say that Joe Biden is he's a mess. If you believe that Joe Biden can feed himself at this point, you're insane. Now, years and years ago, FDR, working with the media for a variety of reasons, they covered his disability. People were not ready to accept his disability at the time. Being in a wheelchair would have been a sign of weakness. It was summarily rejected by people in the country, and consequently, FDR kept the ability that he could not walk. Think about that. He could not walk from the public. At the time, I'm assuming that may have been a good thing because people at the time would presume again that he was there was weakness involved with it and he was unable to lead. What is happening right now is a willful avoidance by the national media to accept the fact that Joe Biden is not mentally, my God in heaven, watch footage of Joe Biden 20 years ago, even though what he spewed was nonsense, but at least he was lucid. When he lied about stealing quotes and stealing ideas and plagiarism, at least he was lucid. He is no longer lucid. He's no longer there, guys. He's no longer there. Here is Joe Biden this week making an appearance, a campaign appearance, and he stepped out and he he mistakenly said that he was in the wrong location. Okay? Then he attempted to make it a joke. This is sad and pathetic. This is sad. I don't care what your political ilk is. This is sad and this is cruel, to send a person who is not mentally capable in front of cameras. And what's really sad is the Democrat Party hates Donald Trump so badly that they are willing to subject a man who is mentally declined to the point that he could probably barely eat food on his own. And I'm going to share a little bit more footage here in a minute that's going to shock you about Joe Biden. Here he is attempting to grab onto what is left of his consciousness. And I'm not joking about this, guys, and I'm not meaning to tear somebody down. But I want you to watch this. I want you to see somebody who does not have his mental faculties in order, attempting to cover it up in a very uncomfortable way. This is sad and this is pathetic. Let me try it here. Okay. Hold on. Okay, I am frozen up. Hold on. Hold on. That was on a roll too. All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try and shut down the program very quickly, and I'll be right back.